The future is not bright for Stewart-Haas Racing. The team is facing difficulties, and the situation could lead them to leaving the Cup Series and Xfinity Series due to their top drivers nearing retirement and the team not having a proper replacement for them. On top of that, we know that Haas and Tony Stewart are in fierce conflicts when it comes to signing drivers, with Tony winning the latest one regarding Preece. But Preece is far from a driver that can secure the future for the team, which is why as of now, Stewart-Haas Racing is in a freefall. The 2022 season started decently for Stewart-Haas, with Chase Briscoe winning his first race at Phoenix Raceway in the fourth event of the year. However, this was one of only 3 wins for the team in 2022, something that is a very desperate outcome for a team who has Harvick and Almirola as 2 of its 4 starting drivers. On top of that, the team waited 5 months to score a victory after Phoenix, with Harvick winning his way into the playoffs at Michigan International Speedway. What is even more bizarre is the fact that this was the peak of the team's season, and the fact that Cole Custer and Eric Almirola were outside of the playoffs, finishing 25th and 20th respectively, says enough about Stewart-Haas Racing. Briscoe and Harvick made the playoffs, but their results weren't satisfying either, leading us to believe that the team doesn't have as much talent and potential as everyone would believe. Briscoe was 10 laps away from making the championship 4, while Harvick was docked 100 points after the modification of a single source supplied part, resulting him in having huge struggles in the playoffs. So, with this being said, there is no need to talk about the 2022 season anymore, or more precisely, about what happened on track, as we now know that SHR struggled massively to keep the hopes of their fans on a high level. Outside of the track, there was a huge conflict between the 2 owners of the team, Tony Stewart and Haas, regarding the Cole Custer seat. According to Haas, the poor record of Cole Custer at Stewart-Haas Racing wasn't enough for him to be sacked, and Custer deserved at least one more chance. But Tony Stewart was adamant that Custer's place was not in the Cup Series, at least not in his team, which is why he pushed for Ryan Preece to be brought in as Custer's replacement. The situation was escalated a lot, with both owners entering a massive conflict, and eventually Tony Stewart won it and Preece was brought in as the replacement for Custer. However, many believe that Custer isn't the type of driver that you would label as a franchise one, so the replacement of Custer isn't really saving the team from collapse. It's safe to say that the future of SHR in both the Cup and Xfinity Series remains really uncertain, because outside of Briscoe, the Xfinity Series is currently in a position that few would prefer, with Custer joining the team for the upcoming season as well as Herbst, who has yet to prove that he is worth keeping on the team. Of course, one couldn't deny that Custer would turn himself into a championship 4 contender instantly, and Herbst should benefit from having such a knowledgeable teammate alongside him, but that doesn't mean that they will have it the easy way. The competition in the Xfinity Series is very fierce, and time will tell whether this team will exist in such a competition. What is more worrying for the team is the fact that the Cup Series future is very uncertain. Harvick, the champion from the 2014 Cup Series, is expected to leave the team after 2023, and that same fate is waiting for Almirola. The team will probably push for a contract extension, but by 2024, Harvick will be 48 years old, which is already too old to continue pursuing a career in NASCAR. And in the case of Almirola, the 2022 results speak for themselves, and although they aren't really the best ones possible, the team is losing a veteran. These 2 drivers retiring isn't the biggest issue for Stewart-Haas Racing. Who will replace them is the bigger question. Obviously, the load will drop on Briscoe, as he is supposed to represent the future, with Ryan Preece having the very difficult task of proving to the world that he is made out of NASCAR material. With Almirola and Harvick gone in the following 2 years, who will replace them and try to bring the glory back to the team? Obviously, the number one choice would be to bring some candidates from the Xfinity Series. Cole Custer could reset his career in the Cup Series on the same team that didn't believe he had what it took to be part of it in 2023. That could work out, but it's a big if, and given the fact that Custer already has 2 bad seasons behind him, rest assured that the pressure would be bigger than ever. Herbst isn't really proving to be the best replacement for either of these 2 drivers in the Xfinity Series, and he does need to have a brilliant season in 2023 if he wants to be considered as a starter in the Cup Series. However, this is only one of the concerns that Stewart-Haas Racing will face in the coming season. There is one more worry that the team has, and it's hanging over them like a dark cloud. Obviously, the team bet on Ryan Preece, who was a reserve driver in 2022, to perform at the level of Custer and even better. Custer didn't really set the bar high, but the team is not looking for another mediocre driver. They want to take things to the next level. That is why betting on the reserve driver is never a good thing, and this particular reason could be the deciding factor when it comes to the future of the team. If Preece proves to be a failed experiment, Stewart-Haas Racing will have 3 open seats in 2024 and beyond. It's a situation that no team would want to be placed in, and with no particular leadership or knowledge between the drivers, rest assured that Tony Stewart and Gene Haas are going to have one heck of an awkward conversation when it comes to the future of the team. As of now, the 2023 season seems to be one that will determine the fate for Stewart-Haas Racing, but as things stand currently, it is not all sunshine and rainbows. The fact that Harvick, the driver who was somehow forgotten down the stretch, was the top dog in the team says enough about where they are and where they would like to be in the future. When the retiring driver, the 46-year-old veteran who won a championship in 2014, is the leading driver in the team, then it's obvious that the owners need to have a serious conversation about where the team is headed in the near future. Harvick led the team to 2 wins, 9 top 5 finishes, 17 top 10 finishes, and an average finish of 14.3. What's even more impressive for him, but not for the other drivers in SHR, is the fact that his wins were back-to-back, as Harvick waited almost 2 years to score yet another win in his career. Harvick has constantly led SHR in single-season stat categories ever since he joined the organization in 2014. Of course, you need leadership, and there is no better person to do this than a veteran and a former champion. But leading the way is one thing, and being the best out of the other 3 drivers is another. This means that when Harvick leaves the team, a huge gap will open with his departure, and quite frankly, the drivers that are going to stay behind him aren't really capable of filling this void. And keep in mind that SHR had drivers like Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, and Clint Bauer as Harvick's teammates. Ever since 2014, he has had the best average finish every year, most top 5 and most top 10 finishes in a season. In 2021, he missed out on a record he used to rack up in the previous seasons, and that was most wins in a season. To put the cherry on top, Harvick also recorded the best points finish in all but 2 seasons. It's quite an impressive resume, but Harvick is currently 46 years old, and the team cannot bet that he'll stay racing into his 50s. What they need to do is find a proper replacement or train some of the current drivers to be much better than Harvick, which quite frankly seems impossible to be done as of now. Yes, Briscoe's strong playoff run this season is a bright spot at the end of the tunnel, but that alone is not enough for the team to bet on continuing its existence in the Cup Series. On top of that, the team is yet to see whether Ryan Preece is a good replacement for Cole Custer and whether Tony Stewart was right to bring him as a replacement. According to Gene Haas, Stewart never made mistakes when it came to a driver's talent, but there is always a first time for something, and this time, the first time could be the last time and the fatal time for Stewart-Haas Racing. That being said, Stewart-Haas Racing is in for a very exciting period. The 2 owners of the team need to get along if they want to get over this murky period together, because as of now, the whole future and the existence of the team are put into jeopardy. This eventually means that we could be seeing the last of SHR, a team that has managed to put a huge imprint on NASCAR. What do you think will happen next with Stewart-Haas Racing? Do you think they'll struggle in 2023? And are the problems between Tony Stewart and Gene Haas big enough to close the shop anytime soon? Let us know in the comments below. We want to thank all of our current subscribers for watching all the way to the end, and if you're not subscribed already, make sure to hit the button and turn on all post notifications. The next video will be a big one, so you surely don't want to miss it. Till next time, racers.